Welcome to whatever this is, the MetaQuest showcase thing. Little watch along, redesigned from the inside out. So about 2 hours before the MetaQuest show, Meta actually announced the MetaQuest 3. This is it. You can see it in front of you. We'll talk about that for a little while, and we'll talk about it on Q&A for this evening. The MetaQuest showcase has a pre-show that is due to begin, if we have a little look at the event, in 3.5 minutes. So I've given myself very little time to have a little chat with you before we get started. But the pre-show is probably going to be a bag of crap, so we can just talk over that, right? Tony, welcome. I knew you would be here for the VR. You love it. You love to talk about augmented reality, and it is a big part of the MetaQuest 3, so you'll be very pleased. Sauron Grant, haven't seen you for a little while. Welcome back to the channel, sir. Big Xbox fan, so surprised to see you for the VR one as well. But it's all good. Everybody loves it. For some reason, the official MetaQuest stream is being spammed with lizards right now. Fortunately, people here are more interesting. Chris Blackburn, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, does anybody have any expectations for the MetaQuest gaming showcase? Mine is like, I obviously love VR in general, but Meta's direction for the last couple of years has been to completely sacrifice everything good about PC VR and just focus on the standalone headset stuff, which I'm less of a fan of. I think the Quest 3 looks awesome, but games, I'll wet myself with joy if they just show that any of their big games are going to support PC rather than just standalone. But Quest 3 is apparently about twice as good in terms of graphical oomph over the Quest 2. So maybe even the native games will start to look a little bit pretty. You thought the Quest 3 image you saw was AI generated. So the design specs, like architectural drawing is the wrong word, but the tech designs for the headset leaked a while ago. So these three things on the front of it were a known entity. I'm not sure it is. There's quite a deceiving shadowing to mask the color here, but the mock-ups that you saw were based off of those designs. Is it started? 1.5 minutes. 1.5 minutes. I'm not on top chat. Thank you. This is, by the way, you probably know, not my conventional kind of layout. Isla's scrambled all day to set me up something for our little watch party, as I call it, so we can sit and watch this together. Tony, you were on top chat. You have me on PC, so it's different. It's different, like, in many ways. Everything is different. Everything is different. Everything is new. Everything is exciting. It's a virtual reality day, which means, like, I didn't even ask Gaz if he had any interest in putting this on the main game on Daily Channel, because he doesn't understand the joys of virtual reality. So I knew he wouldn't want to get involved and talk about it. But here, my excitement's contagious, and you're all going to love it. See, Replicant likes the VR already. Can I be bigger? I'm pretty big, but yeah, I guess I can be bigger. Fuck. If I get the right thing. Unlock. Growing. Are you satisfied with the bigness? You gave me a big window, but I am shy. And I don't, you don't need to see me. You need to see the Meta Gaming Showcase that starts as soon as Meta press go. They've hit the timer. The cheeky bastards, they had this event scheduled for 5:30 until about a minute before 5:30. And then they went, actually, and they copied my style. They went for 17:48. I like to set obscure times. Here we go. It's here, it's big. It's not making any noise. Now it is.
Have I guarded this peaceful kingdom?
Oh, straight in with this shite.
But invaders
I mean,
from another world threaten to take my home.
Let's be honest, that is what I mean. This is the... I don't want to be horribly disrespectful to the developers, but this is the reason that people look at VR and go, yeah, it's bad. Defend your underworld, destroy their happiness, collect their souls. like, VR devs are learning, and the movement in this looks nice and free and good. But as a thing to present on a Pancake screen, it's like, oh dear. Be nice to cartoony show. So there's going to be a lot of cartoony show. That is inevitable. It's just that even if it's like fun to stick on a headset and play the cartoony show, it like spreads a fairly negative perception of what the technology is. Welcome, Peter. Welcome to the VR thing. I know this game. This is just Little Cities, isn't it? Celebrating a whole year of cozy creativity. Little Cities hand tracking update. So Little Cities, as quest stuff goes, is quite a nice one. It is published by Endream's third-party publishing company thing that I applied for a job at a while ago, and they said no. So fuck this game. They should have hired me. Little Citizens update. Bling 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 bling. Good to see no bitterness. No bitterness. I still keep an eye on what they're up to. You might remember, because I did talk about it openly when I was applying there. It was genuine excitement for the stuff this company does. Not specifically the developers of Little Cities, but Endreams, the publisher. They're making so they're like their in-house developers are making Synapse for the PlayStation VR 2 and the Ghostbusters game, stuff like that. Their third-party outfit goes out and finds developers and helps them publish a sweary game. No way. Like, he's a loon, so this might be a worth checking out experience, because everyone likes a bit of lunacy. And he's like one of those, is an eccentric creator. He did Dark Dreams May Die for the Kinect, so one of the very few actual Kinect games, and he's did, what's his famous game that was a disaster but like really popular despite being a disaster? It's like a Nintendo thing. I can't remember what it's called, but he makes wild stuff. He's an eccentric creative fella, so of course he wants to explore the cutting edge of virtual reality and make whatever this may be. They should have taken me. Of course they should have taken me. I have the genuine VR enthusiasm. Little Cities, yes. Which list it now? Death Game Hotel. That's a name. Go Signal. So I like this pre-show actually. It's better than I expected. This isn't even the main show. This is the stuff that wasn't good enough for the main show that they put in beforehand. Space works well in Quest because you don't need loads of detail to show the vastness of space. I've never played this, but it is supposed to be very good. And you can ram spaceships and then they explode. And it's got autosave. What more could you want? You just notice the timer until the main show kicks off. Yeah, this is the pre-show. Hopefully the main show will not be our lizard friend talking and showing his legs in VR again like he did before. I'm going to play so much VR as soon as my treadmill arrives. Can I explain what you made? Yes, so for those watching wondering why Isla's talking about rainbows, so this nice light themed... Oh no, there's my arm. What's my arm doing over there? That's my fault. That's where I changed the camera. One moment. There we go. Fix that. Now my arm is contained. This overlay, it's animated. The colors are going to shift and change throughout it, and The background behind me is also swooshy colours, so many things there. Walkabout Mini Golf, if you've never played that in VR, it's really good, especially as a social experience. Onward, gameplay captured on PC. Bugger off, that doesn't look like the PC version. Wow. Onward was originally was created by one person. It was very, very, very popular as a VR, like, as VR game. VR games go, very, very popular as a competitive kind of esports game, but quite hard to get into. They Meta acquired the studio, they grew it a bit, they got some people there, but just a couple of months ago they made most of that studio redundant. Like, really downsized them and ruined everything. And yet they've got new animations, revamped shooting range extended to 600 meters, and a new tent. So they're still doing bits. Experience first-person shooter like never before. Onward. Down. Yeah. Okay. Isn't it light and different to everything else that I have as my themes and backgrounds and whatnot? Arena of Hellfire. Is it?
Two sides enter, but only one side can survive.
See, multiplayer VR games are such a risk. I understand the appeal of making them, but it's so hard to get a consistent audience when the audience is small in the first place. Oh, but Demio won't struggle. Fucking everyone loves Demio.
Time for battle. Guardian ready.
Still need to play that some. I played it a tiny bit, like sampled it and had a look at it, but not actually played it socially at all. I get the impression that playing around a Demio takes like 3 hours or something, so you need to plot and plan and get a group of people available for a long time. But it is a game like, it's really popular because it's the only thing like it, but to me it just like screams of the potential for a full-on tactics RPG in VR. It begs for it. It begs to let you explore a proper like AAA, even AA, like, you know. You liked it on PSVR. Did I ever play Moss? I played Moss. I didn't like it very much, but I'm not a 3D platformer fan, and not even VR could rescue that.
You are a special one.
I haven't played Moss 2, and I didn't finish the first Moss.
Flexible.
Team up with clones of yourself. This is also already out and supposed to be good, but I figured puzzle game, probably not for me. That cel-shaded style works very well with the limited processing of the native Quest headset.
Created a part of me.
Like, this game looks nice. Tony, you also like it when she begs, as in the mouse in Moss. You've not played any VR, have you, Tony?
We are nature. We are one.
You can interact with that little mouse in various ways, but maybe I'll play Moss again at some point, but I can't. It's not really a treadmill game. It's time to get your hands. Nah. This isn't actual Power Wash Simulator, is it? Because they were hinting that Power Wash Simulator was coming, but this looks like a dirty, low-quality knockoff. No, it is actual Power Wash Simulator. Tell me there's a PC version that looks 100 times better and includes all of the like the Final Fantasy and the Warhammer kind of add-ons for it. What about Borderlands 2 for the treadmill? I've got Borderlands 2 and it is one I'm likely to play on the treadmill, yes. Nathan, welcome, welcome, welcome. So do we have any Power Wash Sim fans here? Like, did you play it and think I would love to do this in VR? Can you move freely in Power Wash Simulator? Could I do that on my treadmill? It's not meant to look good, it's meant to feel good. It would feel better if it looked better. Imagine like if the dirt looked dirty and the environments were cool. if there is a PC version of Power Wash Simulator VR, because I wanted to do, the appeal of it to me was actually, it's very rare for me to say this, but it was the crossover content. So things like going to clean the environments from other games. So just going to get to explore those, and like, I don't know if they've done Doom, but as an example, you could like clean demon guts off of one of the hellish environments from Doom. That would be a cool thing to just go and mill about in. But if you're doing Quest native versions of a kitty park, I'm less interested in it. Imagine if it was rainbow. Excuse me? You can't clean a rainbow. They're already like perfect, right? All of the games you're about to see today, even the ones you'll see for the first time, are slated to launch within the next year. They've pulled an Xbox. There's always a risk of games slipping. They're smarter than Xbox. That said, there's so many amazing games in development that aren't in the show. Sit tight. Thanks for watching. Thanks for building. Thanks for playing. Let the games begin. I didn't think I'd have time to read all of it, so I skipped big sections. But we all get the idea, right? Please show me some PC games. Say we. I know I don't do a very good we. Okay. This is it. This is the proper showcase now. I'm going to drink some more of this coffee, especially it's like half and half. The bottom half has got my delicious Baileys in it. GTA not ready. As a FD, welcome. Yes. Gran Theft Auto 3 and San Andreas, I think was it specifically San Andreas, or was it the whole of 3? Has been in the works for a little while, so there's a fair chance it will show here. But
welcome everyone to our 3rd annual MetaQuest
Space Denizen.
Showcase. I'm thrilled to be back hosting.
Meta could pivot.
This morning, Mark Zuckerberg shared that our MetaQuest 3, our next-gen VR headset, is launching later this year. MetaQuest 3 is our follow-up to MetaQuest 2 and will feature advanced tech.
Holy shit, 3 is the follow-up to 2.
In both VR and MR. It will also be backwards compatible with Quest 2's entire library of over 500 games and apps. Later in the show, we'll explore Oculus Studio's biggest and most immersive game.
I like her better than Jim already.
Deep dive.
She might have been pivotal in Xbox not getting Activision Blizzard King. You don't know.
Hardware. We have way more to share when MetaQuest 3 releases, including specs, more apps and experiences.
Pony, I'm also tempted to do that.
Groundbreaking MR content. These are all stepping stones toward our long-term vision for building the metaverse. But for today's showcase, it's all about VR games. Every title you see today will be playable on both MetaQuest 2 and 3.
And some of them on PC.
In the next 12 months.
No, you suck. They didn't even mention PC as a platform. Oh, sadness.
Are you ready?
No, fuck you, Samba de Amigo. Sorry, I'm gonna swear less. This is a family section. But I'm not getting this. Yeah, maybe I will. Having seen that person playing it, I'm definitely not getting it. They're too dancey for me. I would be like completely rigid, just static on the spot. Imagine how many views I'd get if I done exactly. Peter Morland, Samba de Amigo was indeed a Dreamcast game with plastic maraca accessory.
Samba de Amigo in VR. I could not be more excited because music is such an important part of my life. I was a professional musician.
I could not be more excited either.
Talented teams behind a bunch of other rhythm games. Playing Samba de Amigo in VR feels like it's always belonged here.
Toy, did you at least hold maracas to make it feel like the proper game?
When Sega brings the game to the MetaQuest store this fall. Back in February.
Good point, it is Sega though.
I Expect You to Die 3, Cog in the Machine. Today, I can confirm that this third helping of Spy Hijinks, or Spyjinks, is coming to the MetaQuest store this year. Hopefully your skills haven't gotten too rusty, because this threequel will send agents on their most challenging mission yet. Confront more villainous villains, tackle more perilous perils.
Only I've seen many dead fish and they don't look like
A
that.
few more times.
So I expect you to die.
Either very strong or
I've played the
that
first
stick was
one.
not attached correctly.
And it was really, like, it's good for what it is. The second one's supposed to be even better.
Prism is a former inventor for the agency. She truly believes she can create a better agent.
So I will play the second one soon. It is a puzzle game. It's like
Prove her wrong.
escape room style puzzle game
Prove her right.
with many opportunities to die.
Once you're dead, everyone will see just how superior my robots are to human agents.
So I'm sure the third one will be good, but again, I hope they're still supporting the PC side. I'm going to say that so often for like every game,
Every time we
because I expect you to die 1 looked better than I expect you to die 3.
it's simply a matter of time and iteration.
You think that's the end? It's not even begun.
Look, that sandwich looked terrible. Barely made me hungry at all.
These notes I left in there, aren't they great? Sometimes I look at them because they make me happy.
You don't
It's a
have to play
sit-down
the series in
game.
order,
They're
but
both
if you'd like to,
primarily
the first
sit-down
two
games.
bundled in the MetaQuest store for 40% off for a limited time. That's not
Woo.
all Shell Games is working on. They made a promise at last year's showcase.
It's not
Games
anything like
over the next
Psychonauts.
2 years. Hot off the press, let me introduce you to Silent Slayer, Vault of the Vampire. Silent Slayer
can't
is
have a game
single-player
called
horror game.
You can't have a
that
single-player horror game that's only on
brings
Quest.
slumbering vampires. And as you might guess from the title, stealth is key to survival. As Shell Games puts it,
Stealth in VR is different, by the way.
It's
It's
death.
not an immediate.
Spooky. Let's take a peek.
It's not an immediate don't play when it's stealth in VR.
Keep silent. Gently. At last. Aim for the center of the chest. And do not be gentle.
Center of the chest? No, that's not where the heart is. That might be neat, like it might be properly tense. Sorry to be horrid, but that voice is so annoying. I will shut up now.
At last year's showcase, we revealed Ghostbusters: Rise of the Ghost Lord. And then I got to drive off into the sunset in the iconic Ecto 1. For this year's show, Sony Pictures VR.
Oh, her voice doesn't annoy me, but the
on the Ghost Lord
when you get a
himself.
presenter like this who's very stone-faced and tells you that they're feeling certain emotions,
Along
it's
the
quite
way,
jarring.
we'll get a glimpse of the West Coast's first Ghostbusters HQ, some iconic San Francisco landmarks, and
I'm trying to remember which show it was that had the guy in the gold jacket that claimed to love every single game in the showcase. Oh, are they going to show it properly? End dreams are everywhere.
Know the whole story of the Ghostbusters. Well, you don't know my story.
This one's definitely coming to PlayStation VR 2, so there should be a high quality version to show.
University, where I studied under the Ghostbusters. They dismissed my work, called it dangerous. But in San Francisco, I can show them, with its untapped cauldron of the undead. Where others saw fear, I saw subjects. How could I know my research would stir a dormant evil?
That's all it takes for She-Hulk is a green light.
Tortured souls.
I can do that.
Whose guilt I could drain and drain again. Their pain, the price of progress.
Oh,
My dear sister Katie understands. Soon everyone will
Stop
understand.
making everything for the
Especially
quest.
you, Ghostbusters, with your silly parlor tricks. You will
Resident Evil 4 on the Quest is massively impressive, actually, to be fair. So it's not like a million miles away.
You will realize that I, Gustav Hookfather, am the
It's just that Asgard's Wrath that I've been playing on stream the last few weeks looks so much better than everything here, and it's like 5 years old.
The Ghost Lord is here.
Dry is good, Tony. I'm dry. My presentation style is to be... no, actually, I'm more miserable than dry.
Check this out. The team let me into the San Francisco Ghostbusters HQ a little early, and it's still under construction, but I've got my proton pack, my PKE meter, and I know exactly who I'm teaming up with to take out the Ghost Lord. Because if there's one thing you could say about me, is that I ain't afraid of no ghost. Whew.
Smooth transition, right.
When we asked One Hamsub, developers of Racket NX, what's something players will love about your new game? They said, you can lose an arm, then pick it back up and bash your enemies with it. There you go. Underdogs is a physics-based brawler where you wrap yourself in your 5-ton gorilla mech and rampage through New Bracca, the 22nd century mech fighting.
Show me, it sounds great.
Take on whatever the pitmasters throw your way and upgrade your mech to be even more fearsome. But remember, the more you climb the ranks, the more every lowlife in the city will be gunning for you.
I've got no idea, Ryla, what her role is. Might have said at the start of the show, or she might just be paid presenter. One Hamza.
Yo, this city ain't never gonna let two base boys like us in. Nah, this the jungle out here, bruv.
Show me.
If we wanna get into New Bracca, we're gonna have to fight like fucking animals.
Yeah, they picked an art style that works. Like very simplistic, but also dark. Smash, smash, smash. Go on. I reckon the new quest, the quest 3 with its pancake lenses, will be very good for games with this kind of cel-shaded look. Because the displays are going to be way clean. Like pancake lenses are a VR miracle. Never played Riggs. That was one of the most interesting PSVR games. It's a shame they shut it down rather than carried it on for the new device. Underdogs, I don't think it mentioned it being a multiplayer game on that one, but MetaQuest Pro getting an update on the HDR. What, Tony? That's not true.
At last year's show, we revealed NFL Pro Era, the first NFL and NFLPA licensed VR football sim. Since the game's launched last October,
American football, let's ignore that. Nathan, it's already been answered, but the MetaQuest 3 does have a wider field of view. They've not mentioned the field of view, actually, I don't think.
Here to tell you, Status Pro president and co-founder.
It's probably wider than the Quest 2, I would think. I'm assuming that the lenses are going to be very similar to the Quest Pro.
Thanks, Ruth. Our goal last year at Status Pro was to give people the experience of being NFL QB1.
And I wouldn't say that field of view... So if you've used the Quest 2, then for me, the field of view distinction between good enough and not is whether you can see the inside of the lenses rather than the outside. And on the Quest 2, you can. It's like it's a little bit binoculared. And the Quest Pro isn't, so it's quite likely that the Quest 3 isn't either.
New version of NFL Pro Era, we're expanding multiplayer, so you and your best friend can picture...
Let's get Sigourney Weaver to drive the mech. Yes, Peter. I've heard she's a massive VR fan, so she'd probably be good at it. Shut up, American football people.
This is more than a roster up.
Or is this a VR person or an American football person? I don't care. Either way, this bit's boring.
So many cool ways, and we cannot wait to get it in your hands. Check us out on social. We posted a lot of community and game updates there before we launch this fall.
You've got a Quest 2 currently, and that's the only bugbear.
All right. Moving on from
the Quest 3, I'm sure it'll be a fairly big upgrade over the 2 from what I've seen and heard of it so far.
Blaston and Demio revealed their latest project, Racket Club.
She says Demio. I've been saying Demio, and I blame Lord Cognito for it. I've been copying other people's pronunciation. I used to say Demio, and then everybody else was like Demio, so I adopted it.
In this one-of-a-kind sports complex. Here's a new look at Racket Club.
Quest Pro has a smallish inner overlap. That very much depends on the shape of your face. For me, it doesn't. But it wouldn't take much of a difference in like eye position for that to be a different story. This doesn't look VR. Yes, it does. Play together. It's tennis on very small courts, so you don't like smash the entirety of your room up. Table tennis in VR is brilliant. It's one of my first VR experiences that was like, holy shit, this is amazing. It was so good that at the end of a table tennis round, I took my controller and I put it on the table and let go. That was the first time I damaged any of my controllers. Because the table obviously wasn't actually a table at all. So it's enclosed, small space, tennis game. There's many racket sport games in VR because it just works really well. I've not seen one that's like an exact take on like that small enclosed space pretend to be tennis, but many similar games.
At our debut gaming showcase, I premiered the launch trailer for Wraith: The Oblivion Afterlife from Fast Travel Games. It was the first VR game set in the world of darkness. And today, we're diving back into the
Demio means to descend or go down in lessons. So she's wrong. I should have trusted Lord Cognito. I apologise to the Iron Lords and everybody else. It is Demio from now on. We are speaking Latin and rolling dice. Dice. He only has one, actually.
Hide in plain sight. Drink the blood of mortals.
So would I like for Xbox to combine Kinect tech with VR and make it an Xbox console thing? Tony, I would like...
Without further ado, let's
Kinect is not good enough to handle the tracking for VR,
Vampire: The Masquerade.
but it would be very useful for full body tracking. So to present what your body is doing to other people. If it was Redfall, it would have a subtitle on the bottom that said, "Vampire finishes feeding satisfiedly."
Back on square one. Hiding in the night.
Show me the game, show me the game. Oh. This looks fun.
Get dragged into this. But the guilty must be punished.
Still obviously a million miles behind things like Asgard's Wrath and proper PC VR games. Oh, it looks less fun now seeing those traps. But
because if you don't, I'll
blood-soaked adventure RPG.
for you.
Nom 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 nom. The Diablo hack worked. I need to do that as soon as we're done here. Not on Top Chat. Thank you, Painful Discourse, and welcome, by the way.
Special to me. It's developed by Othergate, a studio co-founded by 4 VR veterans who I used to work with for years on the Oculus Studios team on our very first and super popular franchise, Dead and Buried. I know firsthand that these guys
I'm doing it while this is on.
Making fun multiplayer games, and I am honored to announce their next project, Dungeons of Eternity.
Oh, Dungeons of Eternity. I like it because the name is Dungeony.
It generates levels from hundreds of unique chambers, so no 2 trips are the same. You'll explore dark crypts, ruined castles, and deep caverns. Battle monstrous
Can I read up on this one?
with
Kind
melee
of.
and magic, solve puzzles, avoid traps, gather loot, escape back to safety, level up, and then do it all over again in a brand new dungeon. Take a look.
Taking a look. Oh. To be fair, the torch adds a lot of atmosphere, but obviously cel-shaded again. Everything's cel-shaded. Captured on Quest. Which Quest? And if it says captured on Quest, does that mean there's a better version? Is there a PC version? Why have Meta completely forsaken the whole platform? It's my favorite. The good news, though, is my VR Treadmill does work on Quest native games. So I could play this kind of thing and run around on the treadmill. It would just be a case of figuring out how best to capture and present it to other people, with all the challenges of like keeping up with conversations and stuff like that. The blue coat had matched up with the blue sometimes. What did I miss? What did I miss? I missed a good joke. This doesn't look VR. There's no thin guy on the treadmill. Is the best way to play VR. Right. I'm a little distracted because
We brought back Samba de Amigo, but we must have
shopping.
other beloved classics waiting in the wings, right?
yes, more beloved
How about
classics.
one of the best-selling games of the 90s.
Download
An
console.
iconic
No, I want to
mystery
buy.
game? Something a little spooky? Yeah, I think we have
Fucking
one like that.
Buy the fucking game. Vertigo make good games. Is it going to be it? What is it going to be? They're obviously making... Is it Vertigo for Arizona Sunshine? I think it is. But this is... They might have just said, but I wasn't listening. Based on the classic bestseller. I'm a fraud. I don't know what this is. Oh, but it's a puzzle, bollocks.
I'm here to help. There are many like me here, trapped in this house.
Luigi's Mansion. Without Luigi.
Each night, the guests arrive.
Stout, what do you want? Show yourself!
Can't I do shopping on this thing? What does that say? The... What? 7th Guest VR.
The 7th
I think,
Guest
yeah.
is mostly known for
Never heard of
ushering
it.
in the CD-ROM era, once upon a time.
Credit card did I? No, I can't find the shopping option,
See
Tony.
Vertigo Games and Vertigo Studios Rotterdam staying true to the original, but reimagining it for a new era. The team is using volumetric video to capture the live
buy
action
stuff on this
performances
app.
of actors to help tell the game's story. They're also fully recreating the iconic mansion in 3D for the first time. Just don't be surprised if it starts changing.
I'm going to have to
shape
buy it
around
on the
you.
console replicant. I was just scared that they'll take the option away.
In addition to the 7th Guest, Vertigo is working on Arizona Sunshine 2.
Yes, Arizona Sunshine too.
Popular games from VR's early days. This one people have been waiting to see for a long time, including me. You might have seen the CG reveal recently.
We did at the PlayStation event. You can say it.
For you. Time to say hello to your old pal Freddy, and hello to a new friend as well.
Is it going to be in-game Arizona Sunshine 2? Nope. Pre-rendered animation, don't care.
Oh, what's going on, Fred? Hold up. Allow me to show you how it's done. Nice, but...
Yes, it's a dog.
Yeah, that's gonna do. Watch and learn. What the? Get a room. You know
Terrible trailer. I hope they didn't spend very much on that.
In Arizona Sunshine 2, you'll survive the desolate waste of Arizona with your new best friend, Buddy, who you can trust to have your back, even when Freddy's are trying to take a bite out of it. Arizona Sunshine 2 launches later this year, so be sure to check out the game's extended CG reveal trailer if you haven't already. Okay. Last November, Netflix and Tender Claws revealed that the hit
Stranger
series
Things
Stranger
game.
Things is coming to VR. I hope you're comfortable in the Upside Down, because you're going to be spending a lot of time there.
My treadmill doesn't work upside down.
Psychological horror experience. You are Vecna, invading people's minds and conjuring up their worst nightmares as you look to take revenge on Eleven and her friends. Stranger Things VR comes to MetaQuest store later this year.
That's nice that you get to be the bad guy.
Is a brand new trailer.
She has dead eyes because she doesn't mean any of the things that she's saying. It's not her fault.
Means to realize my potential. To transcend.
Yes, climbing works in VR. We know.
To become the predator I was always born to be.
He's whispering. If you can't hear it, it's not my fault. Oh, quest. Needs more gross. It doesn't look squishy dirty enough. That's because it's cel-shaded quest mode. Quest 3, baby. Yeah, Blaze, are you getting that? It looks like it'll be an amazing PC VR headset, but I'm not that into the native stuff.
Into your omnidirectional mobility gear and prepare to fight the unthinkable.
Omnidirectional mobility gear, I've got it.
Titan is a best-selling manga series,
Like,
acclaimed anime adaptation, and now, thanks to the team at Universe.
so this is the official Attack on Titan game. There's already a side quest, Attack on Titan, but this
lets you join the Scout Regiment and go head-to-head with the Titans themselves.
anime IPs are quite ripe for the graphic stylings of the quest, so you never know.
Try to protect the last vestiges of humankind. Some of you may already be familiar with this game because we teased it late last year.
Not that quest mode, Isla, but yes, I did know when I said it.
Dynamic, high-flying battles. Today you will.
Oh, in-game Attack on Titan, go. Have Attack on Titan music. Oh, pre-rendered. Fuck you. This game's been in the works for a little while. They should show me some. Obviously, the pre-rendered stuff is going to look cool. Yeah. This is like such a good fit for VR because those things will be freaking huge in VR. And obviously the movement is like... Maybe some people will be a bit sick, but... all you need is a little fan so that it feels convincing that you're flying through the air. Get in that one for sure.
Back in 2011,
even if it's quest only.
People Can Fly, the creators behind Outriders and Painkiller, introduced the world to skill shots. Blast an
That's
enemy
what you're talking about. Now we need more ass.
Kick them into a cactus, skill shot. Crush somebody under a hot dog cart. You get the idea. Now imagine how creative you could get with that system in VR. Forget imagining it. We've got it. Here's your first look at Bulletstorm in VR.
Read up. What am I reading up? She lacks the sincerity of Jim Ryan. Yeah. I said hi to Blaze. I've already acknowledged. He said quest 3, baby. He's looking forward to it. I even asked a question in response. But he's a busy man. What am I looking at? You can break doors and windows. This is trying to be like an actual game rather than a cel-shaded thing. And it looks so far behind the stuff I've been playing, but you get guns, you can shoot things. It could be really good. It's going to have a hard time comparing to... so at some point this year, there will be an awful lot of proper PC games modded to work in VR. That might put some of these games to shame, even though this is clearly like a well thought out. Oh, it is Bulletstorm. I thought when I was looking, I thought this looks like Bulletstorm because it had the kick. And it is Bulletstorm, and People Can Fly are working in VR.
All know and love.
Bulletstorm's kind of fun and shit at the same time.
Every story beat fully recreated from the ground up for VR. And for the first time, you'll actually be able to handle
I'm getting that.
deliver devastating blows.
IJH called it Bulletstorm as well.
So book your ticket to
It could be good in VR, but it needs a PC version, like clearly.
People Can Fly and Incuvo for bringing such a fun project to life.
Am I reading a different chat? No, Blaze.
Before we start talking about our
I always say hi.
I know you've been waiting for an update.
No, Blaze, I normally say hi, but you're normally here for like half a second and then boom, out.
Assassin's Creed Nexus.
Are you getting a Quest 3? Who's reading this and watching these games and going, shit, I need...
On June 12th for the
Assassin's Creed Nexus VR. Who's like sold on VR as a result of this show?
I promised you a deep dive.
So far.
Let's get into it. In 2019, Asgard's
Wrath took us on it's Asgard's Wrath 2.
Across the fabled 9 realms of Norse mythology. That journey ended here.
No, don't tell me the ending, you fuck. No.
God Loki.
I'm playing it.
But Destiny has more in store for you. From Sanzaru Games and Oculus Studios, This is the world premiere of Asgard's Wrath 2.
If you've been watching my channel, you know I've been playing the first one, and you know how freaking gorgeous it is.
Loki's evil invades all realms.
This will be like the pinnacle of Quest games, but can it compare to the PC one? Oh, it looks so much worse. It's my heart. You are crushing it with your stupid Quest directive. Oh, like side by side this against Asgard's Wrath 1. I'm sure the game is still going to be cool as fuck, but come on. Do a PC version.
Your reality is my guardian.
Exact your vengeance
and unleash your
Kitty game. Bunty, it's not. This is, well, I don't know. Like, can porn be disappointing? It probably can. This is like, it's a mix. There's some cool shit in here. And it's all held back by Meta being so focused on their standalone native strapped to your face hardware. That's not Asgard's Wrath 2. You can get bent. That's Asgard's Wrath prequel running on technology 50 years older.
Asgard's Wrath 2 is an all-new.
It's due to it being on Quest AJH.
Epic series.
The gameplay looks good, but
by the Weavers of Fate, you'll set out on a new quest across time and space.
is the stream in 4K? I doubt it. I'm not going to run the mouse over it and check, but no.
To the deserts of ancient.
There wouldn't be much point in showing these games in 4K.
Sea, you'll once again battle gods and creatures of myth to stop Loki.
Yeah, Punty, it's a positive in that they are still
when the original Asgard's Wrath released,
spending money on games rather than just their metaverse push.
Jaw-dropping scale,
but it's still
physics-based combat and stunning graphics.
Very sad that they're
2 will set a whole new standard
doing what they're doing, you know.
VR.
Creepy dead AI eyes.
Immersive action RPG that you've been waiting
that
for.
Might be compression. She looks alive to me.
Free roaming environments, gorgeous visuals, and well over 60
very
hours
insincere, but definitely alive.
Intense combat into MetaQuest.
Joe, you were just catching up there, and you saw mention of Diablo 4 on the cheap. Anyone done it? Joe, I haven't done it yet. I'm going to as soon as this is over.
Of the team's groundbreaking
the risk is that Diablo launches,
was captured in game.
and then it turns out they say you don't own the game, you only own the upgrade, and you can't play it. But...
I'm so excited to show everyone what we've been working on at
Oh, this looks better. Doesn't look as good as Asgard's Wrath.
Picks up where the first game left off, in a mysterious tavern you can't escape from. You're suddenly thrust into battle with a giant creature, clearly from another realm. Just when you think all is lost, you encounter the Weavers of Fate, a trio of beings that set you off upon your adventure to find and stop Loki.
No, don't tell me Loki's a bad guy, you
So just how much bigger
spoiler
is this game?
filled reveal
Not
bastard.
only will you travel through new Asgardian locations, like Muspelheim, the land of fire, the Weavers of Fate will also bring you to new realms, like the vast desert expanse of ancient Egypt. These massive worlds, beyond the scope of any other game on the MetaQuest platform, come alive in Asgard's Wrath 2. Dotted with temples.
Wait, was that a multiplayer mode? Is that another player fighting with them?
Monsters to battle.
No, it's probably the equivalent of the pet shark.
Wildlife. Crafting resources, mini games, and more. This is a living world you can roam and explore freely.
Someone needs to be honest with them and explain that Asgard's Wrath 1 looks like 1,000 years more advanced than this.
And unique events. You could spend hours upon hours exploring this map and still not discover all its secrets. You might
like this is impressive in some ways,
by hunting rare, high-level monsters,
and more so when you consider the hardware it's running on.
Gather plants or and animal parts to craft useful consumable goods, such as bait to attract wildlife, or a ward that provides a temporary AoE benefit.
You can't get away from the difference between this and the prequel.
But it's not all about survival. Kick back and fish. Or beat your
Well, how can Loki not be a bad guy in anything but God of War? Well,
There's no shortage of stuff to do in
Like, yeah, I know.
primary quest line.
I'm aware that the
These
characters
worlds are so big,
are
you're
established,
gonna want
but
some more speed as you move through them.
I was happily working for Loki and following it through and pretending to be ignorant. Does Quest 3 use foveated rendering? No, it doesn't, Joe.
You'll be able to transform a
Well, no, that's a lie, actually. Like, Quest uses foveated rendering, but it doesn't have eye tracking, so it won't foveate in terms of where you're looking.
New in this game,
It will use foveated rendering in that the center of the screen will be crisp and clear,
across the massive realms of Asgard's Wrath 2.
and they will save as needed on the outer edges.
Of course, what's vast on foot or mount can look very different to a god.
Ah, you can still do the transform thing.
Like Asgard's
Don't
Wrath,
show me
you'll
shit
also
puzzles.
see the world from the god scale perspective, and use your cosmic powers to manipulate the mortal world around you. Reach inaccessible areas, solve puzzles, and more.
There's a little bit of texture on the wood.
The world alone, though. Egypt is full of would-be heroes who need your godly
Go.
assistance to enter the realm of legend. Each hero
Eye tracking
in
is
Asgard's Wrath
like
2 is completely unique.
I wouldn't pass or fail a headset based on that.
Different skills and abilities.
It works very well for the PlayStation VR 2.
By possessing these mortals, you can help them fulfill their destinies and get closer to yours as well. The first of these heroes is Abraxas.
But so the Quest Pro that I use does
with a
have
grudge against the gods.
eye tracking and does have foveated rendering, but I don't use it.
But you'll have to work together to take down fearsome enemies like the bloodthirsty goddess Sekhmet. Abraxas seeks vengeance against Sekhmet.
Because I could be wrong. I've not actually read through all of the eye tracking. Is not a gimmick, Tony.
Whip sword and bladed shield.
It has some cool uses. In terms of on the PlayStation VR 2, eye tracking is an essential component to the fact that it can play things like Resident Evil,
Us included.
like Pancake games translating into PlayStation VR 2. If it didn't have its foveated rendering and its eye tracking,
Even using your fists.
that would be a whole different level of downgrade.
In the first game, the combat favored a defense-first approach, meaning you had to block and parry a series of enemy attacks before you had a chance to remove their runic shields. This loop had to be completed.
So I would say on the Quest 3, they've seemingly got quite a focus on mixed reality and like the augmented reality, mixed reality thing, which I would quite happily sacrifice in favor of like foveated rendering, eye tracking, stuff like that to get better out of the VR worlds. But Meta do have another headset in the works as well, apparently. So
that let you cut through your enemy's defense
and obviously the
with ease.
the Quest Pro as well. You have the urge to paint your nails. Someone stop you. I need a thumbnail for Q&A, sir.
And wider variety amongst enemy archetypes.
Does that work as stopping you?
This time, we have a full physics system implemented for weapons, with swords, axes, bows, staffs, and more at your disposal. You can find a combat style that's right for you.
No, I do like that they managed to hook that one's head.
Your approach, as enemies will now react to your
Combat in Asgard's Wrath is fun, and this the combat still looks good in this.
You'll also unlock new skills and abilities as you level up, letting you invest further in the weapons you use.
Does Valve not have a new headset on the way? Replicant, they haven't said anything about it, but they definitely have, yes.
Nothing feels better than seeing
It's
your weapons soar
known as
through the air and rain
Dick Hard in all of their... sorry, did I say Dick Hard? I meant Deckard. Deckard.
slot into your weapons and armor
In,
that will provide you with powerful buffs
you know, the data mining of Steam and whatnot.
or heal over time.
But there have been many iterations and prototypes, and no one quite knows what it is yet. Whether it works standalone, whether it's entirely PC related, what kind of tracking it uses, because there's lots of conflicting leaks.
The more you spend time with them. Even with an upgraded companion and all these powers at your disposal, don't think the enemy AI will go
Dickhead, that's what I normally say, isn't it? Not Dickard. Project Dickhead. Deckard. Dick. No, oh, this is just getting more and more awkward. I'm going to stop talking about Valve's headset and focus on Asgard's Wrath gameplay.
Powerful super attacks and
Lost Boomer, welcome. Welcome. Do you like VR, sir?
some will even heal each other, boost each other's damage, or call for reinforcements. You'll have to
It's gonna make the edit. No, it doesn't need to. Well, yeah, you can edit what you want. You've got free reign. It's on the internet. I can't
through the
stop you.
ravenous enemies that lay between you and your destiny.
Oh, I'm gonna get Asgard's Wrath 2 and I'm gonna enjoy it, and I'm gonna complain every time I play it that it doesn't look as good as the first game.
An infinitely replayable dungeon crawling mode with exclusive loot that you can take back with you into
If Meta insists on doing this and making everything quest only, then
so you can visit at any point during
I have to work on my ways of sharing quest stuff.
and put your skills against some of the toughest time-limited challenges.
And I have seen some people share quest footage quite well, so it is possible. And obviously whatever they're doing to capture this is decent.
As you delve deeper into these endless labyrinths,
I can do that.
encountering the ghosts of players who fell victim to the rifts before you. Whether friend or foe, these specters will be part of your dungeon, helping or hindering your progress. Survive long enough, and you'll learn a
like in the first one, it refers to you as being the god of animals or something, but they seem to have dropped that.
are deep
Because Egil, the shark companion, is not there. Spoilers, Egil is going to die.
we've barely scratched the surface of
Uh-oh. No, quest showcase, where have you gone?
the unique
Okay, we're back.
you'll encounter. I hope that this first look at Asgard's Wrath 2 has you excited.
His voice over Zuckerberg, no.
More heroes, more companions, more gods, Loki anomalies. I can't wait to show you more. Back to you, Ruth.
That was weird, what, the
Now
buffet,
head
yes.
over to the MetaQuest store because pre-orders of Asgard's Wrath 2 are open. Pre-order and you'll get a copy of the original Asgard's Wrath on PC. You don't have to play it before, but it'll add some fun
Oh, they
context.
vaguely remembered that the PC
You'll
exists.
also get immediate access to the Great Sand Sea home environment I'm standing in now, and unlock an exclusive Asgard's Wrath 2 themed character, as well as the
The
title
dog
of Cosmic
dies.
Guardian in
I
Population
haven't got a
1.
dog yet, but I probably will have.
And once Asgard's Wrath 2 launches later this year,
Where is no Leg Zuckerberg? No, AJ, this is the gaming showcase.
Raw
The
and
Metaverse is
Sun God's
banned.
battle armor.
She did, she said PC, we all caught it. Okay, so it was only a game from like 5 years ago, but...
Showcase. But
Oh, it's
stick
the
around
end.
For more, because up next, we have some of the most passionate VR creators sitting down to discuss the games from the show. And while you're there, we're running a sale on favorites like NFL Pro Era, Resident Evil 4,
Resident Evil's half price at the moment.
and many more. And like last year, we're also
And it's supposed to be very
giving away
good.
this awesome room I'm standing in.
I have it.
It's available now in settings under home environments.
Okay,
There's
so
so much more we want to share with you.
she did say
We plan
PC.
to announce more games.
We all heard
major
it.
Updates to existing titles, and we've got a whole new headset to launch. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and thanks to the developers who helped put this show together. Keep playing, and we'll see you next year.
Thank you for your enthusiastic presentation of the Meta Quest Gaming exciting showcase. So, that's it. It's over. There were games in there. Some of them were probably good. Nothing was on PC apart from Asgard's
We're
Wrath
in so
1.
much trouble if this leaks.
Shut up.
This actually looks a lot like Quest 6. The Ecto 1? Oh yeah, that's still parked at my place.
She's doing horrible scripted jokes and pretending they're outtakes. Good, she's gone.
Long have I guarded this.
Hi, everyone. I'm Travis.
Long have I guarded this. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Travis. So,
And are excited for all the
I'm not going to watch the developer bit because I think that'll be a little bit dry and a little bit wordy, and I don't want to talk over it. So I'm going to turn him down, leave him running there. And very quickly, what did everyone think? Was that an exciting showcase? Whether you're a VR person already or whether you're a hates VR or just doesn't have one or whatever, did you see anything there that was enticing? That made you think, actually, this stuff is brilliant? There was a lot of cel-shaded stuff. There was a fair, some encouragement in that Meta are still throwing money at games. They haven't completely forgotten that that's the best part about VR. But yeah, it was also fairly forgettable at the same time. So people can fly doing Bulletstorm. That's interesting. When you see like a developer that you're familiar with and you know them as you know them for their works in like flat screen games, and you see that they're going out on a limb and doing something for this tiny audience, and that's like, it's always quite interesting to see. It used to happen a lot. 5 years ago, it was fairly common for mainline developers to start experimenting with VR, and then Microsoft went and bought them all and told them they're not allowed to anymore. But every now and again, you get something like People Can Fly, bringing an older game in properly. Pay attention, devs are talking about Asgard's Wrath. I mean, he's wearing an Asgard's Wrath t-shirt. I'm probably talking about it, but you know, he's going to tell me more spoilers. We can recap the dev chat during Q&A in a bit. Yeah, so that's a thing worth remembering. I'm not going to carry on here for ages because I do need to set up a show. In just over 2 hours at 9 o'clock, as always, Q&A is on. We will talk about bits and pieces from this show, but it's not the entirety of it. We'll be talking about Street Fighter 6 and Diablo and Ratchet and Clank on the PC and like all of these kind of things. The usual topics, the week's gaming news, all of that is going to happen. Not enough realistic games, yeah. Oh, Vampire the Masquerade, that looked good. It's not called Vampire the Masquerade, but it's from like that series. So the vampire game looked fun. There's a bit of CGI. Stranger Things needed more squish. And Stranger Things was kind of disappointing because like major IP and everyone is familiar with special effects and what it's supposed to look like. And it was very much questified. Ghostbusters, questified. And so forth. ABK CMA, not so much Replicant. We could talk about the faces people pulled in photos as they got a date for when things were happening. And no, we're not going to talk about that. You can't make me unless you put it in the box for like a thing I have to address at the end of the show. But you know how it works. Tony, AGH, that's crazy. You got a PC this year. You're fairly new to it since you haven't had one in years. Hopefully you don't have many issues. What have I missed? What have I missed? AGH, what's going on? Legitimately had you so pissed off for a good hour and then you just took the fan header out and boom, no more shitty black screening. Yeah, PCs when they don't work are not a good time. Building a PC is easy. As soon as something goes wrong, there's just so much that can fuck you over. You're going to spam ABK questions. You know, Painful Discourse, you know the rules for Q&A, so I will address them. I will say something, but I won't necessarily answer or deep dive into it as a topic. So you can spam it. It's all good. I'm going to say thanks everyone for joining me for a bit of a VR showcase. I'm going to go away and set up for Q&A at 9 o'clock. If you can come back and join me then brilliant. We'll have a good chat. If not, or if you're watching this after the fact, I hope you've seen some games that excite you. I may have come across fairly negative because the Quest hardware is like a little bit disappointing to me personally, but VR games are freaking awesome. And I love that there are still people putting money into it and making games for it and giving me things to do. So it's a mixed bag for me in terms of what they're showing and the fact that they're showing anything at all. See you in a couple of hours.